Today, I simulated the entire 2025 Formula 1 season with all of the brand new driver transfers, with all the teams updated overalls, my own personal overalls as well, and the entire 2025 Formula 1 race calendar, who will become the World Drivers and Constructors Champions of 2025. Stay tuned to find out. My name is Chris, welcome back to CF Racing, and enjoy the video. Hey everybody, what's going on? Chris here, otherwise known as CF Racing, and like I said, we are doing the official 2025 simulation. Also, Happy New Year, it's 2025. Today, guys, I simulated all 24 races on F1 Manager as a team. You'll have to, I mean, if you could try to guess which team I am, but good luck trying to figure it out. I chose one of the 10 teams to be in the simulation, and I actually did all of the races. I didn't just simulate all 24 races. I managed the team for 24 races here and made it as accurate as possible. I also will be keeping up with the performance rankings after every 5 races. I'll be giving you standings updates after every 5 races and everything like that. At the end of the season, I'll also obviously give you the standings, every single qualifying and race head-to-head. And with that being said, guys, enjoy. And if you're new here, hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends, join my Discord, links in the description down below. Hoping that 2025 is going to be a good year for the channel. And with that being said, guys, enjoy race 1 in Australia. Alright, so heading into the first race, which is going to be Australia this year, Ferrari, you could tell, has the best car, and they had a little bit of an upgrade going into the Australia. Seems like they're the only car to actually have an upgrade going into Australia, which should put them as the favorites. We got McLaren just behind them, and Red Bull and Mercedes behind them as well. Then there's Aston Martin with a little bit of a gap, and a big gap between RB Haas, Williams, Alpine, and in dead last is still Sauber. Race 1 in Australia was won by Charles Leclerc with Lando Norris in P2 and Lewis Hamilton in 3rd. Alonso was 4th, followed by Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Liam Lawson, Lance Stroll, Yuki Tsunoda. Ocon rounds out the points, Norris gets fastest lap, and Max Verstappen started on pole. The sprint in China was won by Lando Norris with Hamilton in 2nd and Verstappen in 3rd. Piastri's 4th, followed by Lawson 5th, Alonso 6th, Russell 7th, and Tsunoda scoring a point for P8. The main race in China was won by Lando Norris. He had a pretty solid weekend, not gonna lie, with Max Verstappen in 2nd and Oscar Piastri in 3rd. Hamilton was 4th, followed by Charles Leclerc 5th, Alonso in 6th, Russell in 7th, Lawson 8th, Stroll 9th, Tsunoda P10. Verstappen had fastest lap and pole position, but he did not win the race. Race 3 in Japan was Oscar Piastri's time to shine. 3 different winners in 3 races to start the season. That's not that bad, with Charles Leclerc in P2 and Lando Norris in 3rd. Max Verstappen was 4th, followed by Liam Lawson, Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, Lance Stroll. Carlos Sainz and Albon both scored points for Williams. Norris had fastest lap, and Oscar Piastri started from pole. Race 4 in Bahrain was Max Verstappen's first win of the season. Bahrain merchant over here, as he took the win. 4 winners in 4 different races. Look at that. Charles Leclerc was 2nd, and Liam Lawson scores his first ever podium in Formula 1. Good job for him. With Piastri in 4th, Russell 5th, followed by Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll. Andrea Kimi Antonelli finally scores his first points of the season in P10. Fastest lap and pole both went to George Russell. Race 5 in Saudi Arabia was a win for Max Verstappen. He is the first 2-time race winner of the season. It looks like that Red Bull car might have some pretty solid upgrades. George Russell was in P2, and Lawson goes back-to-back on the podium today. Alonso was 4th, followed by Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, Andrea Kimi Antonelli P7. That's his best ever result. Albon 8th, Tsunoda 9th, and Carlos Sainz in P10. Max Verstappen also had the fastest lap and started on pole position. Here are your driver standings after round 5. Max Verstappen is your championship leader by a couple points, with Lando Norris in P2 and Charles Leclerc in 3rd. He had a DNF last time out in Saudi Arabia, which did not help him right there. Piastri's 4th, with Hamilton in 5th, Lawson 6th, Alonso's in 7th. Lawson not doing as bad as Perez would, so that's awesome. Yeah, like I said, Alonso is 7th, George Russell is in 8th, Mercedes having a rough start to the season, Lance Stroll's 9th, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli with 7 points is in the top 10 right now. In 11th, we have Yuki Tsunoda with Albon in 12th and Sainz in 13th. Williams looking pretty good so far. Esteban Ocon is the last guy to score a point. He's in 14th, with Hadjar 15th, Hulkenberg 16th, Gasly and Doohan 17th, 18th. Gabriele Bortoleto is in P19, and currently dead last is actually Ollie Behrman, which is a little surprising. Your constructor standings has Red Bull on top by 3 points ahead of McLaren, and Ferrari right behind them. Aston Martin's 4th with Mercedes 5th, Williams 6th, RB is in 7th, Haas is 8th, Sauber is in 9th, and Alpine are in dead last. Here is your performance upgrades going into Miami, and as you can see, Mercedes now actually have the best car on the grid, with Ferrari having, looks like they bring upgrades, but when they bring an upgrade, it's a big upgrade. They're in 2nd. Red Bull third. McLaren somehow actually have the 4th best car at the moment, but they're like slowly bringing upgrades. In 5th is Aston Martin, RB still in 6th. Looks like Williams and Haas are close for 7th. I guess Sauber brought a huge upgrade going into Saudi Arabia. They're 8th, and dead last right now is Alpine. Are we really surprised? I don't really think so. The sprint race in Miami was won by Charles Leclerc with Lando Norris in 2nd and George Russell 3rd. Lawson was 4th, Piastri's 5th, Hamilton 6th, Albon P7 in the sprint, and Alonso rounds out the point in P8. But the feature race, or main race, in Miami was won by Max Verstappen. He's gone back to back, I believe, with Norris in P2 and Charles Leclerc in 3rd. Tsunoda in the RB finished P4. What a performance, might I add, with Alonso in P5 and George Russell 6th. Lawson was 7th, Hamilton 8th, Albon 9th, Sainz was P10, Norris had fastest lap, and Charles Leclerc started from pole. Verstappen makes it 4 wins on the bounce as he won in Imola with Norris P2 and George Russell 3rd. Piastri was 4th, followed by Charles Leclerc 5th, Antonelli gets his best ever finish in 6th, Alonso 7th, Yuki Tsunoda again P8, he's scoring a lot of points, Stroll 9th, Lawson 10th, Russell had fastest lap, and Max Verstappen started from pole. Race 8 in Monaco makes it 6 wins in a row for Max Verstappen as he wins in Monaco with Charles Leclerc P2 and George Russell 3rd. Piastri was 4th, followed by Hamilton 5th, Liam Lawson, Alexander Albon, Fernando Alonso. Ollie Behrman scores his first points in 2025 for Haas. He's P9. Hulkenberg scores Sauber's first point for him, and even himself, for P10. Verstappen started from pole and had the fastest lap as well. Make it 8 or 7 in a row, I believe this is, for Max Verstappen as he wins in Spain with Norris P2 and Russell 3rd. Charles Leclerc was 4th with Piastri 5th, Hamilton 6th, Lawson P7, Alonso 8th, Antonelli 9th. Yuki Tsunoda gets another point. Verstappen had fastest lap and pole once again. And I believe this is 8 in a row for Max Verstappen as he wins round 10 in Canada. Or no, it should be 6 in a row. I can't remember. Russell was P2 and Piastri was 3rd. Norris was 4th, followed by Liam Lawson, Charles Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton, Antonelli P9, Stroll P10, Verstappen had fastest lap and pole once again. So taking a look at the standings now, you can see Max Verstappen did open up the lead quite a bit, but I would stay tuned because I don't think he wins many more races throughout the rest of the season here. Lando Norris he is in P2 with Charles Leclerc in 3rd. Verstappen has 7 wins. He won 7 in a row after winning that first race in Bahrain, which is kind of crazy. Piastri is 4th with Russell 5th. Hamilton, he's doing all right. He's in 6th. He passed Liam Lawson, who's in 7th. Alonso is 8th. Tsunoda is actually up into P9 right now. He's doing fantastic. And Andrea Kimi Antonelli is holding down that P10. Albon is in 11th, Lance Stroll is 12th, Hulkenberg is in 13th, Sainz 14th, Behrman now is ahead of Ocon in 15th, Ocon, like I said, he's in 16th, Hadjar 17th, Doohan's 18th, Gasly's 19th, can't believe Doohan's ahead of Gasly, and Bortoleto is in dead last. Red Bull is still leading your Constructors' Championship, but not by that much because they're getting let down by their second teammate like normal. McLaren is 2nd and Ferrari is 3rd, currently looking like a 3-horse race for this World Constructors' Championship. Mercedes are 4th, followed by Aston Martin 5th, RB 6th, Williams P7, Sauber up to P8, Haas P9, and Alpine are in dead last. Here is your performance order going to round 11 in Austria. You can see Ferrari still technically has the best car in the grid, but they haven't brought an upgrade since Monaco. Mercedes are 2nd with McLaren 3rd. Then we have, who is that? That is Red Bull 4th. Then after them, we got Aston Martin. It's a big gap between the top 4 teams here. Looks like, I believe that's Alpine, Haas, Sauber, and Williams are all very close. And RB now have the worst car on the grid. Going to round 11 in Austria, Lewis Hamilton takes his first ever win as a Ferrari driver with Lando Norris P2 and Charles Leclerc in 3rd. Max Verstappen finished 4th with Russell 5th, Piastri 6th, Liam Lawson 7th, Nico Hülkenberg P8, Antonelli 9th, Alonso at P10, the fastest lap, and Charles Leclerc started from pole. Race 12 in Silverstone was a win for Charles Leclerc, making him a 2-time winner this season as he won in Silverstone finally, about time. And Lewis Hamilton made it Ferrari's first 1-2 of the season as he finished P2. Norris was 3rd, followed by Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Nico Hülkenberg, Carlos Sainz actually for Williams. That's a pretty good result. And there goes Gasly scoring Alpine's first points of the year. Stroll was 10th, had fastest lap, and Charles Leclerc started from pole. The Spa sprint race was won by Lewis Hamilton actually, with Norris 2nd and Charles Leclerc 3rd. Piastri was 4th, followed by Verstappen 5th, Russell 6th, Lawson 7th, and Antonelli in P8. And the main race in Spa was another win for Charles Leclerc, making him going back-to-back, and it's a back-to-back 1-2 for Ferrari. Look at that. Hamilton finishes P2 in Spa with Norris in 3rd. Russell's 4th, Antonelli's 5th. Where's Verstappen? Hülkenberg is 6th, Alonso 7th, Ocon 8th, Albon 9th, Gasly was 10th, Charles Leclerc had pole, fastest lap. Yeah, that's good for him. Race 14 in Hungary makes, I think this is like Hamilton's like 8th win at this track. He's just goated at Hungary as he makes it another 1-2 for Ferrari as they win, as Charles Leclerc finishes 2nd and Lando Norris finishes 3rd. Oscar Piastri's 4th with Verstappen 5th, Russell 6th, Antonelli 7th, Lawson 8th, Alonso 9th, Hülkenberg 10th, Norris had fastest lap, and actually Oscar Piastri started from pole. Race 15 in the Netherlands was Lando Norris' 2nd win of the year as Russell finished 2nd and Charles Leclerc rounded out the podium. Max Verstappen was 4th, followed by Antonelli, Liam Lawson, Yuki Tsunoda, Alexander Albon, Ocon, and Carlos Sainz rounds out the points. Verstappen had fastest lap, and Oscar Piastri started from pole. At the end of round 15 in the Netherlands, Max Verstappen is still your World Drivers' Championship leader, but Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc are making it very close. It is currently 40 points between the top 3, which is very exciting. Piastri is in 4th with Russell in 5th. He passed Hamilton, who's in 6th. He's having a pretty down first season for Ferrari, which kind of sucks. Didn't affect any of their overalls, so I don't know why he's doing this bad. Liam Lawson was 7th, Fernando Alonso's 8th, Antonelli is up to P9, and Yuki Tsunoda is in 10th. Alexander Albon is 11th with Hülkenberg in 12th, Lance Stroll's 13th with Carlos Sainz 14th. Esteban Ocon is 15th, Gasly 16th, Behrman 17th, Doohan 18th, Hadjar is P19, and Bortoleto is still in dead last. Your constructor standings look like this. Ferrari are now on top of the World Constructors Championship for the first time in a while, I have to say. McLaren are in P2, and Red Bull is in 3rd. Mercedes is 4th, followed by Aston Martin in a clear 5th, carried by Alonso. Williams is 6th, RB is 7th, Sauber is 8th, Haas is 9th, and Alpine are in dead last. Here is your performance order going into round 15. I believe that's going to be Monza, and you can see Ferrari have still not brought an upgrade since Monaco, which is very interesting. I'm surprised what they're doing, and they're now not the best car on the grid anymore. That's going to go to McLaren. Ferrari is 2nd, basically tied with Red Bull for 2nd, and Mercedes is currently in 4th. Then we got RB now as the 5th best team, and it's a big cluster between Williams, Aston Martin, Haas, and Sauber for like 6th. And then in dead last by a long shot is Alpine, and you can see there was a dip for a lot of cars here. I don't know what happened. McLaren dropped between Belgium and Hungary. We have the Sauber dropping, even the Alpine. So I don't know what's going on with them. Maybe they brought some bad upgrades, but it really did not make the car any better, which was really weird. Race 16 in Monza, the home hero. Charles Leclerc takes his 3rd Monza win. I don't know what to say. That's just the greatest thing ever, with Liam Lawson in P2 and Hamilton in 3rd. A double podium for Ferrari at Monza is just scenes. I wish it was a 1-2, but Lawson did come in clutch for Red Bull. Piastri was 4th with Norris 5th, Antonelli in 6th, Russell 7th, Alonso 8th, Hülkenberg P9. Isaac Hadjar scores his first ever points in Formula 1. He finished 10th. Piastri had fastest lap, and George Russell started from pole. Race 17 in Baku was Max Verstappen's first win in like 10 races after he won like 7 in a row. Verstappen wins in Baku with Norris in 2nd and Piastri in 3rd. Hamilton 4th, Russell 5th, Charles Leclerc 6th, Tsunoda 7th, Lawson 8th. Hadjar, like I said, RB brought a pretty good upgrade there, like the fifth best car right now. Hadjar finished 9th, Antonelli 10th, Hamilton had fastest lap, and Max Verstappen started from pole. Race 18 in Singapore was finally Leclerc's time to win in Singapore, as Piastri finished in P2 and Lando Norris finished 3rd. Verstappen was 4th with Russell 5th, Hamilton 6th, Tsunoda P7, Antonelli 8th, Hülkenberg 9th, Alonso 10th, Lawson had fastest lap, unfortunately doesn't get the point for it, and Max Verstappen started from pole position. The sprint race in Coda was won by Charles Leclerc. Looks like Ferrari had probably brought a good upgrade again. They're in, I guess they're the fastest car right now. I'm not too sure, but Leclerc is winning. Norris is 2nd and Verstappen's 3rd. Hamilton 4th with Piastri 5th. Russell 6th, Antonelli 7th, and Alexander Albon finished P8. Lando Norris took the main race win in Circuit of the Americas, and Piastri took a 1-2 for McLaren, taking their first 1-2 of the season, I believe, if I remember correctly. Verstappen was 3rd with Russell 4th, Tsunoda 5th, what a drive for him, Alonso 6th, Hülkenberg 7th, Albon 8th, Stroll 9th, Doohan scores his first points of the season, I believe. Sainz had fastest lap, Leclerc had pole, and it ended up being actually a double DNF for Ferrari this race. And actually, guys, this might be insane, I'll show a picture of it later. Hamilton DNF'd every other race of this season. I don't know what to say. It's unbelievable. Oscar Piastri won race 20 in Mexico with Verstappen in P2 and Russell P3. Antonelli was 4th, followed by Alonso 5th, Albon 6th, Ocon 7th, Sainz P8, Hadjar, another point for him, 9th, Hülkenberg had P10, Piastri had fastest lap, Norris had pole, and we had another double DNF for Ferrari. They just kept getting caught up in incidents in the race. I don't even know what to tell you guys. It's insane. At the end of round 20, Max Verstappen is still leading the Drivers' Championship by, what is that, like 13 points? Something like that. Norris is P2 and Charles Leclerc is 3rd. Those three are the only three who can win the championship. So Leclerc will need a good end to the season. Verstappen will need to have a bad last 4 races, and Norris just has to be consistent. Piastri was 4th with George Russell 5th. Hamilton is 6th. Liam Lawson is 7th in the standings, still picking up good points for them. Alonso is in 8th. Andrea Kimi Antonelli still P9, and Tsunoda looking solid in P10. Hülkenberg still carrying Sauber, scoring all 42 of their points in 11th, with Albon in 12th. He's actually doing better than I thought against Carlos Sainz, who's in 13th. Lance Stroll's 14th, Ocon is 15th, Hadjar 16th, Doohan 17th. He's still tied with Gasly, so they're having a pretty good teammate rivalry there. Behrman, unfortunately, is 18th, and Bortoleto is in 19th, sorry, and Bortoleto is in P20. The constructor standings look like this. McLaren look like they're probably going to wrap up the constructors title, but Ferrari, don't count them out. But like I said, Hamilton literally DNF'd 6 races in a row. You can't make this up. Like, what happened? He's so unlucky. Red Bull was 3rd with Mercedes 4th, Aston Martin 5th, RB 6th, Williams 7th, Sauber is in 8th, Haas P9, and Alpine are finished at the moment in dead last. Here's your performance order after Mexico, going into the final 4 races of Brazil, Vegas, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. And you can see going into Brazil, Ferrari is a clear best car. They brought a huge upgrade in Azerbaijan. We have Mercedes just bringing an upgrade for Brazil. They're 2nd right now. McLaren is in 3rd, and Red Bull's 4th. Then we got every other team. Looks like they haven't had any upgrades since the USA, as we have RB, Sauber, then it's Williams, then it's, I think, Haas, Aston Martin, and Alpine still have the worst car for the final 4 races. Race 21, the sprint race in Brazil, was won by Lando Norris with Piastri P2. Hamilton actually finally got a result in. He finishes 3rd in the sprint with Verstappen 4th, Charles Leclerc 5th, Alonso 6th, Tsunoda 7th, and Albon in 8th. The main race in Brazil was won by Lando Norris, making it a 1-2 for McLaren, basically wrapping up the constructors title with Piastri in 2nd, Verstappen's 3rd, Russell 4th, Tsunoda 5th, Alonso 6th, Hadjar P7, Antonelli 8th, Lawson 9th, Ocon 10th. Another 3 double DNFs for Ferrari in a row. Like, basically just end me at this point. For Norris had fastest lap and pole position. Race 22 in Vegas. Finally, Charles Leclerc got a win in Las Vegas, as he won with Lawson in P2 and Max Verstappen in 3rd. This is one of the few double podiums for Red Bull this season. Tsunoda put that car up into P4 again. What an amazing season Yuki's having. And so is Nico Hülkenberg. There was 8 DNFs in this race, but once again, Hamilton was 1. Hülkenberg finishes in 5th for that Sauber team. Really close to a podium. I was rooting for him when I was watching this race. Sainz was 6th, Alonso 7th, Ocon 8th, Doohan P9, Hadjar 10th, Leclerc had fastest lap, and Max Verstappen had pole position. The sprint race in Qatar was won by Charles Leclerc with Norris P2, Piastri 3rd, Hamilton 4th, Russell 5th, Antonelli 6th, Verstappen 7th, and Lawson in 8th. And the main race in Qatar was again another back-to-back win for Charles Leclerc, as Oscar Piastri finished 2nd and Norris finishes 3rd. At this point, Constructors' Championship basically over. Andrea Kimi Antonelli gets his best result of the year, finishing P4, with Russell in 5th, Verstappen 6th, Lawson P7, Tsunoda 8th, Alonso 9th, Hülkenberg 10th, fastest lap and pole go to Charles Leclerc. And in Abu Dhabi, rounding out the season again, Hamilton, like I said, 6 DNFs in a row. I've never seen that before. Bro was incredibly unlucky, and only one of them was an engine failure. The rest were crashes with other cars. Charles Leclerc won in Abu Dhabi with Piastri in P2 and Max Verstappen in 3rd. Norris was 4th, followed by Russell 5th, Antonelli 6th, Tsunoda P7, Alonso 8th, Carlos Sainz P9, Ollie Behrman ends the season scoring out points, Verstappen at fastest lap, and Charles Leclerc had pole position. So now let's take a look at the World Drivers' Championship. Max Verstappen won by 12 points ahead of Charles Leclerc in P2. If Leclerc didn't have like 3 DNFs in a row at like it was like Brazil, Mexico, or whatever. If he didn't have those, I think Leclerc would have won this championship. But Max Verstappen is a 5-time World Drivers Champion now. He scored 414 points, finishes in 1st. Charles Leclerc finished in P2 with 402 points, and Lando Norris finishes in 3rd. Fumbled it on the last race. I think he DNF'd, to be honest. I don't remember where he came, but he didn't do good in Abu Dhabi. He finishes 3rd. Piastri was 4th, followed by Russell 5th. Hamilton got absolutely dogged by Charles Leclerc all season, though those 6 DNFs to end the season did not really, obviously it did not help his cause. Liam Lawson had a meh season for Red Bull in his first season there. He was 7th. Alonso was 8th. Antonelli had a pretty alright rookie season, nothing special. And Yuki Tsunoda rounded out your top 10 with an excellent season in that RB. P11, what a season Nico Hülkenberg had. He absolutely destroyed Bortoleto with 42 points. Albon actually beat Carlos Sainz with 35 to Carlos Sainz's 23. In 14th, Lance Stroll kind of sucked. He scored 19 points. Ocon was 15th with 18 points. Hadjar did score 12 points in the RB, but nowhere near the 68 that Yuki Tsunoda had. Gasly did end up beating Doohan. He was 17th. Behrman was 18th with 3 points, Doohan was 19th with 3 points, and Bortoleto was the only driver to not score any points in this simulation. In terms of the Constructors' Championship, McLaren came out on top. Like I said, those 6 DNFs, Lewis Hamilton, ruined Ferrari's chances of the Constructors' Championship. But McLaren, technically now at this point, if it's 2025, go back-to-back winning Constructors' Championships, but win 0 World Drivers' Championships. Ferrari was 2nd, again, with Red Bull 3rd, Mercedes 4th, and Aston Martin 5th. A very similar top 5 to this year, I have to say. RB was 6th, with Williams in 7th. Sauber was 8th. Haas was P9, and Alpine absolutely sucked. They were in P10. And here are your final stats for this simulation. Most poles was Max Verstappen with 10, then it was Charles Leclerc with 7, Piastri had 3, Norris and George Russell both had two pole positions. In terms of podiums, Lando Norris actually had the most with 16, Charles Leclerc had 15, Verstappen had 14, Piastri had 10, Russell had 7, Hamilton had 6, and Liam Lawson had 4. Surprisingly, Russell had 7, Antonelli had 0. Very shocking there. I really thought Antonelli was going to get at least 1 podium this season. And in terms of wins, Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc both tied with 8. That's a pretty good season for both of them. Definitely Charles Leclerc's best season in Formula 1. Lando Norris had 4, Piastri had 2, and even Lewis Hamilton had 2 wins. Ferrari technically had the most wins with 10, but they cannot end up converting that to a Drivers' or Constructors' Championship win. And honestly, probably my favorite stats out of all of these, the head-to-heads. Yuki Tsunoda completely whitewashed Isaac Hadjar in qualifying, 24-0, and the closest driver pairing was Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, as Norris beat Piastri 14-10 times. Some other notables: Leclerc beat Hamilton 21 times out of 24, Hülkenberg beat Bortoleto 23 times out of the 24, Ocon beat Behrman 22 times out of the 24. Very interesting stuff there. In terms of the race head-to-head, there were no whitewashes this time, but the closest to a whitewash was Hülkenberg and Alonso, both beating their teammates Bortoleto and Stroll 23 times to 1. Anything that was really surprising, maybe Albon out-racing and out-qualifying Sainz throughout the season. Gasly and Doohan were closer than I thought they were going to be. I thought Gasly would have destroyed Doohan. And Norris and Piastri, like I said, the closest pairing on the grid. So guys, that's all I have for you today. If you did enjoy this 2025 simulation and you want to see more sims on the channel like this, hit that like button and subscribe, share with your friends, join my Discord. Links in the description down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.